What if I told you that everything you thought about getting over someone was wrong? That the strategy you've been using, the famous no contact rule, is not the final solution, but just the first step? Most men believe that cutting off communication is the strongest move they can make. They think that silence alone is enough to make her miss them, to make her regret leaving, to make her come crawling back. But that's a lie, because no contact alone doesn't make you powerful, it just makes you absent, and absence means nothing if you're still the same man she walked away from. Silence without transformation is just waiting in the dark, hoping, wishing, and that is not power, because here's the reality. No contact only works if you become a man she no longer recognizes, a man who has evolved so far beyond her expectations that she is forced to question everything. If you simply vanish but remain the same, then when she finally looks back, she'll feel nothing. But if you disappear and return as something unshakable, then her regret will be overwhelming. That's what this is about. A strategy that doesn't just make her miss you, it makes her doubt her decision entirely. A strategy that doesn't just help you move on, it makes you untouchable. So listen carefully. This isn't about playing games. It's not about tricks or manipulation. This is about becoming a man who is so evolved, so deeply in control of himself, that his presence alone commands respect. If you're ready to break free from heartbreak, to reclaim your power, and to become the man who never loses, then keep watching. Because what I'm about to reveal will change the way you see yourself, your relationships, and your future. 1. The myth of no contact. Most men think of no contact as a tactic. They believe that if they simply stop texting, stop calling, stop checking her social media, she will somehow wake up one day and realize she made a mistake. They think silence alone will be enough to bring her back. But here's the truth. No contact isn't a strategy. It's a test. It's a test of who you are without her. It's a test of whether you can exist without her validation, her presence, her influence in your life. And most men fail this test because while they may stop reaching out, they never actually let go. They spend their nights staring at their phones, hoping for a message. They check her Instagram, analyzing every new post, every new guy she follows. They replay memories in their minds, asking themselves, does she still think about me? Will she regret it? Will she ever come back? This is not no contact. This is mental slavery. Because true no contact is not just about what you do, it's about who you become. If all you do is remove her from your external world, but keep her alive in your internal world, then she still owns you. And that is why most men never move on. They go weeks, months, even years without talking to her, but in their minds, they are still trapped. They are still reacting. And as long as you are reacting, you are still under her control. But here's where everything changes, because real power is not found in silence. Real power is found in evolution. And this is why the strongest move isn't just to disappear, it's to disappear and become someone new. Because let me tell you something, a woman doesn't regret losing a man because he stopped talking to her. She regrets losing a man when she realizes she can never have him again. And that realization only comes when she sees him rise beyond her reach. That's the difference. That's what separates men who wait from men who win. Because no contact isn't the final step, it's the first step. The real work begins now. 2. The shift. From silence to evolution. No contact is not enough. It never was. Because silence alone doesn't change the man you are. And if you don't change, then what's the point? If she looks back and sees the same man she left behind, there is no regret, no second thought, no doubt in her mind. She moves on because she sees that you haven't. This is where most men fail. They think removing themselves is the answer, but they never remove the attachment. They stop texting, but they keep waiting. They stop calling, but they keep hoping. They stop showing up in her life, but she still lives in their minds. And as long as that is true, she still owns them. This is where the shift happens, because real power is not found in avoidance. It is found in transformation. A weak man goes no contact and sits in the dark, waiting for her to notice his absence. A powerful man goes no contact and walks into the light, not to prove anything to her, but to awaken something within himself. This is not about her anymore. It never was. From this moment forward, everything changes. You are no longer a man who waits. You are no longer a man who wanders. You are no longer a man who reacts. You are a man who creates, a man who builds, a man who rises. And let me tell you something, when a man rises, the past trembles, because now the game has changed. She no longer looks back and sees an option. She looks back and sees a man she no longer deserves, and nothing is more powerful than that. But this does not happen by accident. This happens because you decide. You decide to step into your potential. You decide to reclaim your power. You decide to stop being a man who needs and start being a man who chooses. And here's the truth that most men never understand. A woman does not regret losing you because you are gone. She regrets losing you because you became something she can never have again. And that is the real secret. Not just no contact, not just silence, but evolution so absolute that she can no longer reach you. Because let me tell you something, regret is not created by distance. It is created by contrast. If she left you, she believed she could do better. That means the only way she will ever regret losing you is if you become better than what she left you for. If she left and you stayed the same, there is no contrast. If she left and you improved slightly, there is no contrast. But if she left and you became a man so powerful, so disciplined, so unstoppable that you are no longer even an option for her, then the regret is devastating. Because now she realizes that she didn't just lose a man, she lost a man. And that is why this is the strategy even more powerful than no contact. Because no contact is passive. Evolution is aggressive. The world does not reward men who wait. It rewards men who take. It rewards men who move forward so ruthlessly, so completely, that the past is left behind like dust in the wind. And here's the best part. By the time she realizes what she lost, you will not even care. Because this is not about her anymore. It never was. It was always about you. Now, the choice is yours. Stay in the dark or step into the fire. But understand this, when a man rises, the past trembles. And when a man truly evolves, he never looks back. 3. The law of reverse interest. There is a law that most men never understand. A law that separates those who chase from those who are chased. A law that determines who holds the power in any relationship, in any interaction, in any dynamic between a man and a woman. And that law is this: people chase what moves away from them, but they only obsess over what they can never reach. No contact is based on this principle, but it is only half of the equation. Because while creating distance might trigger curiosity, it does not guarantee desire. If a woman thinks she can still have you, even if you're silent, she feels no urgency, no fear of loss, no reason to question her decision. But when she realizes you are not just distant, you are gone, when she senses that you have evolved to a level where she no longer qualifies for your attention, your presence, your time, that is when the real shift happens. Because here's the brutal truth. Women don't regret losing men who are waiting in the background. They regret losing men who have moved beyond them. This is where the law of reverse interest comes into play. When a man is too available, when he shows too much interest, when he makes it clear that he is waiting for her to return, his perceived value drops. He is no longer a mystery. He is no longer a challenge. He is predictable, accessible, and therefore forgettable. But the moment he becomes scarce, the moment he withdraws his energy so completely that she can no longer feel his presence, that is when the doubt begins to creep in. Because here's something you need to understand. Attraction is not logical. It is emotional. It is psychological. A woman doesn't sit down and make a rational decision about who she desires. Her mind creates narratives based on feelings, on perceived value, on fear of loss. And the moment she feels that you are slipping away forever, that she no longer has control over you, her mind starts to play tricks on her. She starts to wonder, why hasn't he reached out? Why does he seem so unaffected? Has he already moved on to someone better? Was he actually more valuable than I realized? And here's the paradox. The moment she begins to wonder, she begins to chase. But this only happens if you truly let go. Not if you fake it. Not if you pretend to be over her while still hoping she comes back. It only happens when you genuinely become so immersed in your own growth, your own evolution, that she no longer exists in your reality. That is the real power move. Not just walking away, but leveling up to the point where she becomes irrelevant. Because here's what happens next. At first, she enjoys the freedom. She convinces herself she made the right choice. Maybe she starts dating someone new. Maybe she feels a rush of excitement from the attention of other men, but that excitement is temporary. Because as time passes, she starts to notice something. Every new guy she meets feels weaker than you. They text too much. They show too much interest. They seek her validation in ways that you never did. And slowly she starts to realize that she is no longer chasing something rare. She is surrounded by men who are replaceable. And then it hits her. She replaced you, but she did not upgrade. This is the moment where the regret begins. But by then, it's already too late. Because the man she left is not the man that exists now. And that is what destroys her. She thought she had time. She thought she could always come back. But now, she sees the truth. You are no longer an option. And nothing is more devastating to a woman than the realization that she lost something she can never have again. That is the law of reverse interest. The moment you stop chasing is the moment she starts noticing, and the moment you truly move on is the moment she wants you back the most. But here's the secret. By the time she realizes it, you won't even care. Because the greatest power a man can have is not in making her miss him. It's in making her completely irrelevant to his life. 4. Identity shift. Becoming the man she regrets losing. A woman does not regret losing a man because he went silent. She regrets losing a man when she realizes she can never have him again. And not just because he moved on, but because he became something greater than she ever expected. Most men make the mistake of thinking they need to make her see their worth. They believe if they just prove themselves, if they just show her how much they loved her, how deeply they cared, how much they were willing to give, she will suddenly wake up and regret her decision. But here's the truth. She already knew your worth. She just didn't fear losing it. She left because she thought she could do better. She thought she had time. She thought you would always be an option. And as long as you remain the same man she left behind, she is right. But the moment you shift, the moment you evolve into something so rare, so untouchable, that she can no longer access you, that is when the regret becomes unbearable. This is not about making her miss you. It's about becoming a man she can never replace. And that starts with identity. Because right now you are carrying an old version of yourself. The version that was attached. The version that thought she was the prize. The version that was willing to wait, to hope, to wish for her return. But that man is dead now. And in his place, a new man is born. A man who no longer needs validation. A man who no longer seeks approval. A man who no longer waits for anyone. This is the identity shift. The moment where you stop seeing yourself as the man she left and start becoming the man she was never meant to keep. And here's the secret. It's not about proving anything to her. It's about proving everything to yourself. Because the moment you focus on her, you lose. But the moment you focus on you, you win. Think about the most powerful, magnetic, respected men in history. Do you think they were sitting around hoping an ex would regret leaving them? Do you think they wasted energy wondering if she would come back? No, they built, they created, they became legends. And that is exactly what you must do. Because the moment you commit to self-improvement, not as a way to get her back, but as a way to elevate yourself beyond her reach, you become something more. And here's the paradox. That is exactly when she begins to regret leaving. Because now she sees the difference. Now she feels the absence. Now she realizes that the man she walked away from no longer exists. And the new version of you would never choose her again. And that is the kind of loss a woman never forgets. Because now, it is not just about missing you. It is about realizing that she lost a man who became greater than she ever imagined. But here's the most powerful part. By the time she realizes it, you won't even care. Because this is no longer about her. This is about you. This is about your evolution. This is about your growth. This is about stepping into the man you were always meant to be. And once you reach that level, she becomes irrelevant. This is how you win. Not by playing games, not by hoping she regrets it, but by becoming a man she never deserved in the first place. And once you reach that level, you won't need her regret, because you will have already won. 5. The power of scarcity. Everything in life is based on supply and demand. The rarer something is, the more valuable it becomes. The more abundant it is, the easier it is to overlook. And this principle applies to everything: money, power, influence, and attraction. Most men don't understand this. They believe that the more effort they show, the more they express their love, the more they stay available, the more a woman will value them. But that's not how human psychology works. Scarcity is what creates desire. What is too common is taken for granted. What is hard to get is seen as valuable, and what is impossible to have becomes an obsession. Right now, she does not regret losing you because in her mind, she has not truly lost you. Maybe you're still in no contact. Maybe you're staying silent. Maybe you're trying to move on in a way that makes her miss you. But if she still believes she could have you again, if she still believes you're an option, you are not scarce. You are just on standby, and standby men are never missed. They are placeholders. They are backup plans. They are a safety net for a woman's ego, a comfort in the back of her mind that if things don't work out elsewhere, you might still be there. This is why silence alone is not enough. It is true scarcity that changes everything, because the moment she realizes that she no longer has access to you, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, her entire perception of you changes. She no longer sees you as a man she walked away from. She sees you as a man who walked beyond her reach. And that's when the regret begins. Because here's what happens next. At first, she feels fine. She enjoys her freedom. She convinces herself she made the right choice. But time moves differently for men and women. For a man, a breakup hits hard in the beginning. He feels the loss immediately. But if he channels that pain correctly, he transforms. He gets stronger. He gets wiser. He evolves. And as time passes, he becomes better. For a woman, it's the opposite. At first, she feels liberated. She enjoys attention from other men. She thinks she made the right decision. But after weeks, months, sometimes even years, she starts to compare. And this is where scarcity destroys her, because she realizes that what she thought was common, a strong, disciplined, emotionally controlled man, is actually incredibly rare. And the moment she sees that she cannot replace you, the moment she realizes she lost something she will never have again, that is when her mind turns against her. She starts questioning herself. She starts feeling that regret creeping in. She starts wondering, did I make a mistake? Was he actually the best man I ever had? Why didn't he chase me? Why does he seem so much better now? And that's when she starts looking for a way back. Maybe she tests the waters. Maybe she watches your stories, likes a post, sends a casual, "Hey, how have you been?" text. But understand something. This is not because she suddenly respects you. It's because your scarcity created her desperation. And this is where most men fail. The moment she shows even the slightest attention, they break. They respond. They let her back in. And instantly, the power of scarcity is gone. Because the truth is, she never truly wanted you back. She just wanted to know she could still have you. This is why the man who stays scarce is the man who stays powerful, because he is not waiting, he is not hoping. He is too far ahead to look back. And that's when the real regret sets in, because now she realizes that the man she left no longer exists. And the man that remains, the evolved, untouchable version of him, is no longer available to her. That is the power of scarcity. Because women don't regret losing men who wait for them. They regret losing men who become legends. And by the time she realizes that, it's already too late. 6. The ultimate power move. The man who never looks back. The greatest mistake a man can make is leaving the door open. Most men, even after going no contact, even after focusing on self-improvement, still hold on to a small hope, a small what if, that maybe one day she'll come back. They don't say it out loud, but it lingers in the back of their minds, a quiet desperation, a silent wish, and that is exactly why they never win. Because, let me tell you something, a man who waits is a man who loses. No matter how strong you think you are, no matter how much you try to convince yourself that you've moved on, if there is even a single crack in your resolve, a single thought of maybe one day, then you are still playing a losing game. The ultimate power move is not silence, it is finality. And the truth is brutal. You must never look back. Not for a second. Not for a moment. Not even if she comes crawling back on her knees. Because here's what most men don't realize. When she left you, she already made her choice. She already decided that you were not worth keeping. She already weighed the options and believed she could do better. And no matter what she tells you later, no matter how much she regrets it, that moment of betrayal cannot be undone. She thought you would always be there. She thought she could leave and return whenever she wanted. She thought you would always be an option. But the moment you never look back, the moment you make it clear that she lost you forever, that is when she begins to feel the weight of her decision. Because here's the truth, people only value what they fear losing forever. As long as you are available, even just a little bit, there is no urgency, no real loss, no deep regret. But when you disappear so completely that she knows she can never have you again, that is when she truly feels it, and that is why you must never look back. Not when she sends a "Hey, how have you been?" text. Not when she suddenly starts liking your posts. Not when she shows up at places she knows you'll be. Not when she says she misses you, that she made a mistake, that she realizes now what she had, because she does not miss you. She misses the power she had over you. She misses the comfort of knowing you were always there. She misses the validation, the attention, the emotional security of knowing she could have you if she wanted. But the moment she realizes she can't, that is when she breaks. That is when she starts questioning herself. That is when she starts wondering if she made the biggest mistake of her life. That is when the regret starts eating away at her, and by then, it's already too late, because you are no longer the same man. The man she left was still attached. The man she left still had hope. The man she left still thought she was the prize. But the man that remains, he is beyond her reach. This is not about punishing her. It is not about getting revenge. It is about respecting yourself so much that you refuse to let someone who abandoned you have access to you ever again. Because the truth is, when a woman truly respects a man, she does not leave him. She does not risk losing him. She does not take him for granted. She does not walk away thinking she can do better. So when she did, that was your answer. And no matter how much she tries to come back, no matter how much she tells you she has changed, you do not open the door, because a man of power does not take back what has already been discarded. A king does not invite back those who walked out of his kingdom. A man who truly values himself does not entertain people who only realized his worth after losing him. And that is the ultimate power move. Because when you never look back, when you show her that she was just a chapter, not the whole book, that is when she understands that she was never the prize, you were. And by the time she realizes it, you will be long gone. 7. Silence as your greatest weapon. Silence is the most powerful response you can give. More powerful than anger. More powerful than words. More powerful than any attempt to prove your worth. Because while most men try to fix things with conversation, a stoic man lets his absence speak for him. And let me tell you something, silence is louder than words. Most men don't understand this. They believe if they just explain themselves, if they just get one last conversation, if they just say the right thing, she will suddenly realize what she lost. But she won't, because words do not create regret. Emptiness does. The moment you argue, beg, explain, or seek closure, you are still giving her validation. You are still proving that she has power over you. But the moment you go completely silent, the moment you walk away without a word, without a fight, without a trace, that is when the doubt begins to creep into her mind. Because here's what happens. At first, she expects a reaction. She expects an emotional response. She expects you to chase, to ask questions, to fight for her. Because that is what most men do. That is what she is used to. But when you don't, when she hears nothing, when days turn into weeks, and weeks into months, and still, not a single word from you, that is when her mind starts working against her. She starts to wonder, did he ever even love me? Why isn't he trying to fix things? Why is he so unaffected? Did I misjudge him? Did I make the biggest mistake of my life? And that is when the real pain begins. Not for you, for her. Because here's the truth. Most men stay emotionally available even after the relationship ends. They may not talk to her, but they still check her social media. They still react in subtle ways. They still make it clear, even from a distance, that they care. But the man who disappears completely, the man who makes himself unavailable, unreachable, untouchable, that man becomes a mystery. And mystery creates obsession, because people don't crave what they understand. They crave what they don't. And when she can no longer figure you out, when she no longer knows what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're doing, that is when she starts to regret. Because now she is completely powerless. She thought she had control. She thought she could leave and you would still be an option. But now she doesn't know anymore. Now she realizes that she might have lost you for good. And that realization, that is what haunts her. Because nothing torments a person more than knowing they can never go back. This is why silence is your greatest weapon. because silence does not give her closure. It does not give her answers. It does not give her the comfort of knowing you are still there. It leaves her alone with her thoughts, and her thoughts will destroy her. And here's the best part. By the time she reaches out, by the time she finally breaks and tries to contact you, you will be so far ahead that her words will no longer mean anything to you. Because silence is not just about making her regret, it's about making yourself immune to her return. And that is why the man who stays silent is the man who wins. Because while she is trapped in the past, overthinking, overanalyzing, wondering if she made the biggest mistake of her life, you are already gone. 8. Level up and become unreachable. The greatest revenge is not anger. It's not proving her wrong. It's not even making her miss you. The greatest revenge is becoming a man she can never have again. A man so evolved, so powerful, so untouchable, that even if she wanted to come back, she wouldn't qualify for you anymore. Most men sit in their pain. They waste time over analyzing what went wrong, obsessing over the past, stuck in a cycle of regret. But a man of power, he doesn't waste a second. He doesn't just move on, he levels up. This is the difference between the men who stay broken and the men who rise, because while she expects you to be lost without her, you are about to become someone new. And let me tell you something, this is the moment that changes everything. Because when she left, she believed she could do better. She believed you would stay the same. She believed she had time. But when you evolve, when you start making moves, when you start transforming every aspect of your life, when you start building something so valuable that she no longer fits into your world, that is when the real regret begins. Because now, she has to live with the reality that she left a man who became greater than she ever imagined. And here's how you do it. Step 1. Destroy weakness. The first step to becoming unreachable is eliminating every weak version of yourself. The version that begged, the version that waited, the version that placed her above his own purpose. That man is dead, and in his place, a new man is born. A man who no longer seeks validation, a man who no longer craves attention, a man who no longer looks back, because weakness is what made her leave. Strength is what will make her regret. Step 2. Master your body. There is no excuse for being physically weak. Your body is a reflection of your discipline, your mindset, your ability to control yourself. And when a man is strong, when he walks with power, when his presence alone demands respect, people feel it. And here's the truth. Women are wired to admire strength. They don't fantasize about soft men. They don't crave men who neglect themselves. They are drawn to warriors. And right now, you are in a war between who you were and who you are becoming. And the battlefield, your own discipline. So you train, you push yourself, you sculpt a body that speaks before you even open your mouth. Because when she sees the transformation, when she realizes that the man she left behind no longer exists, her regret becomes unbearable. Step 3. Master your mind. A man who cannot control his emotions will always be controlled by someone else. Right now, she expects you to be weak. She expects you to think about her. She expects you to stay the same. But when you sharpen your mind, when you start reading, learning, focusing on your mission, you break free from her influence. Because let me tell you something, the most dangerous man in the world is a man who does not need anyone. And the moment she realizes that she no longer has control over your emotions, that's when she starts to question everything. Step 4. Master your purpose. Women come and go, but purpose is eternal. Most men build their world around a woman. They make her the center of their lives, and when she leaves, their entire world collapses. But a man of power, his world is too big for any woman to control. So you focus, you build, you create, you make more money, you expand your influence, you develop skills that make you untouchable. Because when a man fully commits to self-improvement, he becomes unreachable, and women chase what they cannot have. Step 5. Walk away forever. The final step is the most powerful one. You do not wait for her. You do not check her social media. You do not hope she regrets it, because she will. And by the time she does, it won't matter, because you will be so far ahead that she will no longer fit into your world. That is true power, not in trying to make her regret it, but in evolving so far beyond her that her regret becomes meaningless. Because once you reach this level, you won't even care about her regret anymore. 9. The dark psychology of reverse power. Right now, she thinks she holds all the power. She walked away. She chose someone else. She believes she made the right decision. And in her mind, you are still thinking about her, still missing her, still waiting. But what happens when you stop caring? What happens when you flip the script so completely that she is the one chasing you? This is where dark psychology comes in. Because power is not about force. It's not about trying to make someone regret their choices. It's about shifting the dynamic so that she starts doubting herself without you doing a single thing. And the secret, it's not playing games, it's indifference. Because the man who is truly detached is the man who holds all the power. Most men try to regain control by convincing a woman to come back. They post things online to get her attention. They try to make her jealous. They seek ways to stay relevant in her mind. But all of this stems from attachment, and attachment is weakness. The truly powerful man disappears. Not out of spite, not to get a reaction, but because he genuinely does not care anymore. And that is what makes her mind spiral. Because women expect men to chase. They expect men to wait in the background, hoping for another chance. But when you remove yourself entirely, when you go silent, completely unreachable, she starts to panic. Because now, she's not sure anymore. She wonders why you haven't reached out. She wonders if you've already replaced her. She wonders if she ever really had control over you at all. And that uncertainty, that is what makes her regret. Because here's the truth. Women are drawn to what they can't control. The moment she feels like she's losing her grip on you, her mind turns against her. The moment she senses she no longer affects you, you become valuable again. And the man who moves on first, he is the man who wins. Think about it. How many times have you seen a woman break up with a man, only to try and come back once he has truly moved on? It's not because she suddenly realizes he was perfect. It's because she realizes she no longer has power over him. And that is what makes her want him again. This is how you reverse the power dynamic. You stop chasing, you stop waiting, you stop giving her any emotional reaction, and instead, you level up. You become unreachable. You make her feel your absence, not as a tactic, but as reality. Because silence is loud, and indifference, it's intoxicating. And the best part, by the time she realizes she made a mistake, you won't even care anymore. She will come back. She will test the waters. She will try to regain her position in your life. But you will be so far ahead that she no longer fits into your world. That is true power, not in trying to make her regret, but in evolving so far beyond her that her regret no longer matters. 10. The stoic mindset. You were the prize all along. She didn't leave you, you let her go. And now, you finally see the truth. You were the prize all along. At first, it didn't feel that way. When she walked away, when she chose another man, when she made you feel like you weren't enough, it seemed like you had lost. But now you realize she was never your loss. She was your lesson, and that lesson, it made you stronger. It made you sharper. It made you into the man you were always meant to be. Because here's what most men never understand. You don't lose when a woman leaves you. You lose when you forget your own worth. And the moment you stop chasing, the moment you stop looking back, the moment you stop caring whether she regrets it or not, that is the moment you win. Because a man who is truly powerful does not fear loss. A man who is truly valuable does not need to convince anyone to see it. A man who is truly stoic, he never loses. And now you are that man. At first, she thought you would wait. She thought you would stay the same. She thought you would always be an option. But now she sees the truth. She sees the strength, the success, the confidence, the absence of need. And that is why she regrets it. Because what she lost was not just a man. She lost the chance to be part of something great. But here's the difference. You don't care anymore. You don't care whether she regrets it or not. You don't care whether she misses you. You don't care about her choices, her mistakes, her feelings, because she is no longer part of your reality. And that is why you have already won. Because you are now the man who never chases. You are now the man who never reacts. You are now the man who never waits. And that makes you the man that everyone else regrets losing. Now, if you found value in this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another lesson. And before you go, drop a comment below. A true stoic man never loses. Until next time, stay strong, stay focused, and remember, you were the prize all along.